Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to another VB.NET tutorial about developing a simplified accounting system. So in the last video we managed to do we managed to add move money between accounts window, right? And also we created a function that will recalculate um, the receipts based on a specific date, and this in effect allowed us to update the account statement and enter the receipt in any date we want, uh, resulting in the account statement be accurate. Now what are we gonna do today, hopefully, is to edit each receipt type. Okay, so we can change the date of any receipt we want, and all the calculation will be updated according to that. We will make use of the function itself. Okay, sounds nice. So let us go. So the first thing we want to do, we want to first we want to see what did we do, the main window actually. So there's the main window, right there. Okay, this is the receipts, right? And here we need to when you press edit, the receipt object need to be loaded, and based on the receipt type, if it is a deposit, a draw, or a move, the correct user interface should be displayed. So first things first, let us just load the receipt from the database. Easy. So first I'm gonna steal some of the code here that is used to access the database. Where's that? Yeah, it's this one. Okay, because I'm kind of lazy, so I don't want to retype things here. Okay, so before writing the code that will open the database, first we need to make sure that a row is selected. Okay, so what is the name of the data grid view here? This data grid view is receipts data grid view, as you can see here. So first we want to make sure that there is a row selected. So now if receipts data grid view dot selected rows dot count equals 0, then exit sub. So if there is no row being selected, this means there is no receipt being selected, so we don't have to do anything. Otherwise we need to open a connection to the database. So dimension msg as string equals nothing, and dimension db as new lib.db database manager class. Now if not, db dot open the database connection and passing to that the error message object, and then message box dot show cannot open connection to the database. Okay, connection with the database. Okay, and followed by what? There's gonna be an error. Okay, basically TV new line and error msg. We want to separate the error message, and there's an error, followed by, we just want to separate the error message followed by critical. Is it critical or fatal? Oops, let me see. These are error, this one. And finally we say end, or actually we don't want to end the application, just display the error message and say db dot close database for some reason. Actually, the connection is not even open, so we don't have to do anything. We just say exit subroutine. So at this very point, we managed to open a connection to the database. Now what we could do is create a receipt object and load that receipt. So in order to get the selected receipt, we need to get the receipt ID, and the receipt ID is available in the data grid view. Now you might be wondering, how do I know that? Well, basically in the receipts class I created the, where's that, this method, where is it, where is it, where is it? I'm sure I created one here. Insert get data table for receipt, this one, get data table for receipts, and this one returns the receipt ID. So basically all these values are put into the data table to the buffer memory, and we will use this one to get the receipt ID that is being selected. So let's see how to do that. So now dimension receipt ID as long, this is going to be equal receipts data grid view dot selected rows of 0, because we allow a selection of a single row only, meaning that there is only one row which will always have the index of 0, dot cells of receipt ID. Okay, we want the column which is have the database name, which has the name in the database receipt ID, and this is the value. So we got the receipt ID, and now we will load the receipt from database. So dimension receipt obj as new receipts receipt class. Now if not receipt object dot load from database by receipt ID, load receipt by receipt ID, I will pass the DB object followed by the receipt ID followed by error message. Then I will show this error message over here, could not load, sorry, could not load a receipt, and we exit the subroutine. But before that we just say db dot close database, and that's it. And the reason for that is that the database is already open, so it's better to close the connection, right? In this case we couldn't even open that, so there's no need for closing the connection itself. Now we loaded the receipt, we just need to identify which user interface to display. So now we will say the following: if receipt obj dot source account ID equals -1, then now if it is a -1, okay, this means that this is a deposit account, and the reason for that, let me show you the database. If you remember that these are tables here, come on, and this is these are the receipts show table. Come on, my friend. Okay, so you can see this is the source account. As you can see, this is -1, -1. So -1 means that this is the empty account, the one that is no one sees. Okay, and we created that for our convenience, and it is going to be very easy for us to do or to work with. So if this one, if there is a -1 here, it means this is a deposit account. If there is a -1 on the other side of the destination, this is a row account. If no -1 is in the record, this means that there is a moving of money between accounts. So very straightforward. So let's go now. I'm gonna say using obj as new deposit money window, and then I'm gonna say obj.show dialog. Now you might be wondering, I'm not passing the receipt object, it will just display the window. What's going to happen? I'll show you what is going to happen in a moment. Now else if receipt object dot destination account equals -1, then okay, this is gonna be something similar using obj as a new draw money window, and then obj.show dialog, and otherwise else I'll say using obj as a new move money window and obj.show dialog. Now before I do anything, let us just test this part. Okay, now after all is finished, we just say db.close database, and that's it. Close database connection. Very straightforward. And let us test this. Okay, so admin 123 go login. Nice. Let's go to receipts. Now you can see now this is a deposit receipt. There is only a destination account. So when we press edit, there should be a deposit window appearing, and this is a deposit receipt window. Now this one is a draw. We've drawn from the test account. So when we press this button, a draw window should appear, and we press, and there is a draw receipt window. The last one is moving money between two accounts. So when we press edit, we should get a movement window and move money between accounts receipt. Okay, so all is working fine so far. Now the reason I did that is because I'm going to use the same user interface for inserting and also editing receipts. Okay, so let me cancel these. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is to modify the deposit money window. Now I will add two variables here. So public mode as string, and this is going to be add, and public old receipt as receipt lib old receipt as receipt class. Okay, and why it is objecting to that, let's import this. Okay, so now we added two members to this window, the mode and the old receipt. Now the mode is going to be used to tell us if we are inserting a new receipt or updating an existing one. So if this one's still add, there is no problem, all will run the same. Otherwise it means we are updating things. Now so let's go to the load event. Now the load event only get executed when the load event get executed when the window is getting shown. So when you create a window object, nothing get executed in this part unless you ask your window to be displayed. So we are going to use this to our advantage. Okay, so now if mod equals edit, in that case we will fill the user interface. So what do we have? We have this field which is tx receipt number. So in this case tx receipt number dot text equals old receipt dot receipt number. Wonderful, this is the first one. Let's go back to this one. Now this is the receipt date. Okay, so now the receipt date is a date object, but we store the receipt date as a string, so we need to convert things back in order to display the date as date. Okay, so dimension dte as new date. Now we need to get the year first. So the first four digits, basically, let me write this one to explain things a little bit more. The date is stored as a string of the format. Okay. For example, 2017 04 06. Okay. Okay, so now we need to convert this into a date object in order to pass it to the date time picker control. To do that, we will say old receipt dot receipt date dot substring. Now if we have a look here, we are going to start getting the first character, which has the location 0, and moving 4 characters. So this is going to be 0 4. Okay, so this is going to be the year. The next one, it is going to be the same almost, but we'll start from location 5 with 2, right? So let me show you. This is location 0, this is 1 2 3 4, and we are starting from 5. Okay, and the last one is gonna be 8 2, right? So at this point here, let me show you here, we have 5, so we skip 5 to 6, we skip 6 to 7, we skip 7 to 8, so 8 2. Okay, so now we got this one, so we are gonna say tx receipt tx date, sorry, receipt date, okay, dot value equals dte. That is wonderful. Now we start the date. What also do we have? We need to set the combo box for the account, which is cb account and tx amount. So now we have cb account dot text equals old receipt dot destination. Oh, so here what you can see now is that I'm just storing the account ID, the destination account ID. In order to select the value or the name, I need to load the account from the database. For this reason, I'm gonna say dimension account obj as new accounts class, and now if not, account object dot load from database by account ID, passing db here, followed by old receipt dot receipt destination account ID, followed by error message. Then in that case we will just call these guys, okay, and we will say cannot load account, yeah, it's very straightforward. This one has finally, okay, so no problem there. Okay, so we load the account, and now there's gonna be account obj dot account holder name, and finally we need to set the amount, which is over here, which is tx amount. So the last step is tx amount dot text equals old receipt dot receipt amount. Okay, so this code is very compact, it's very simple. You can see now we just added this part, and this part's job is to get the information from the account object and fill the user interface so that the end user could update that very easily. Okay, still a few things, but for now let us check and see if this works. We need to do something here, so let's go back to the main window, to the edit part. Now here, before showing the deposit window, we will say obj.mode equals edit, so that it does not show the add mode, and obj.old receipt equal receipt object, so the object of the receipt that we just loaded. So this is the selected receipt, right? And we load that receipt, and now we pass this receipt into the window, and the window has the job, or knows it should render the information for the end user. Let us check this out and see if it works. So let's go back here, admin 123, go. Let's go to receipts. This is a deposit receipt, and say edit. Now you can see now this is receipt number 1, this is the date, this is the account, and 100. Okay, let's go back to the first one, which is 1000, which is the 1st of January 2017, and it works fine. But now if I press add, it will add a new receipt because I didn't tell the window to detect if it should insert or edit. So in order to do that, we will go now and finish the final few things here. Let's go to add. Now, so here everything should be okay. Now, before we do anything, you can see the code here for inserting. Okay, all right. So now I will have to do the following. Just add few things. So if mode equals edit, okay, this means if I am editing, right, in that case I'm gonna say RCP before that, sorry, db.execute SQL delete from receipts where receipt ID equals @0. Now I'm not supposed to put SQL here, but I'm just showing you just to a very quick thing here. So I'm deleting this. I should put that in a function, right? Well, I'll make it a little bit different, but anyway, all the receipt ID. Okay, so what this means that if I am editing an existing receipt, what's happening is that I'm gonna replace it with a new one. Basically, you could replace the whole receipt with exactly the same information, okay? And you know, for the average user or the end user, he will think, well, I just modified the existing receipt, nothing happened. Well, we are doing because of that, since the end user doesn't know about the receipt ID inside the database, we are destroying the old receipt, as you can see here, and then we are inserting the new one and finally updating the calculations. Does it make sense here? I hope it makes sense. Now there's one thing here. You can see that this is the receipt date here. Okay, so you might change the date, right? You might change the date. Let's say I want the date to be the 1st of January 2016. But what if the old receipt was on the 1st of January year 2000, for example? You need to recalculate things from that very date. So basically you need to select the minimum date between the two. Okay, so now we need to add a few things. Dimension min date string equals rcp dot receipt date. Okay, so this is the minimum date. Now if we are performing an edit, we will say here if min date, okay, is greater than old receipt dot receipt date, then min date equal old receipt dot receipt date. Okay, so I am going to take the minimum available date and use that. Okay, let me copy this and let me update it here. So this is min date, and now we can give it any date we want and everything should work fine. So let us test this and see if all is going to work as expected. So this is going to be admin 1 2 3 go. Let's go to receipts. I will go to this deposit receipt. It's for test, right? Let me go and find test. Test should have 1010 only. So let's go to test here. I am going to edit that and make this well, I will make it not January. I'll make this deposit in the future. Okay, sounds fun. And press add. Okay, and the refresh, you can see now this one gets down here, right? So the location of the receipt changed, and all the information is there. To you, you might, or to the end user, he would think that he modified it, but actually what happened, the old receipt was removed and new one was inserted instead. And if we go to the account, we should have the same value, the same balance, all wonderful. We can actually now edit this receipt and say, well, this account is wrong, it should be deposited into this account, and we say add here. And now what's going to happen is that you will find that, let me refresh this, you'll find that test 2 managed to get the 1060, right, instead of, sorry, the $1,000 instead of the test. And now I am gonna put things back the way they were, so I will edit that, make it here, and make it the 1st of January, and say add again, and refresh that. Now it went back to the top as it's supposed to be, and we refresh things, everything came back to the way it was. So now we can edit any receipt and it works perfectly fine without any problem. But we only managed to edit the deposit receipt. The same thing should be done for the draw receipt. Exactly the same, not exactly, almost the same. And it's gonna be very easy. So now we are going to actually add these few lines, and oh, wait a second, well, a few things. So let me copy these very quickly, Control C. Let's go to the draw money, wonderful, and we put this one here, nice. Let's go to the this part and the load event. Let's go to draw money and enter. Right, this is also draw. Let me just import things here. Okay, so now not the destination, this is going to be source account ID. We draw from the source account, so this is why we need to change what are we working with here. And the last few things is well, basically, let me see, we have these guys, okay, and we need to go to this guy. Oopsie, hopefully, yeah, right. I think this is all we have to do. Oh, not exactly. Mandate, Control C. This is the recalculation part. Wonderful. Now the draw receipt should work as well, but still I forget something very simple here. Go back here, go to the edit, and again copy these guys and put them here. Now the draw money window works the same. Okay, so let us go and say admin 1 2 3 go. Now let us go to the receipts. Now we are drawing 30, right? We are drawing 30 from the test account, so edit, I want not the test account but test 2 account to be drawn from, and hit add. Okay, so you refresh here. Okay, that's fine. Let's go here and we refresh, so you can see now this one increased by 30, this one reduced by 30. Let's go back and we edit things here instead of test 2, test 1. Now this one went down because these two receipts are on the same day, so yeah, whatever. So now let's go, this is gonna be on year 2000 for some reason, right? And add that, and we refresh things. It's on the year 2000, as you can see, and it's on the account test. So if we go back and refresh, you know, things get back to the way it was, so it is working perfectly fine. Let me put things the way they were, not 2000, it was 2017, and hit OK and refresh things. So now everything get ordered back. Now the receipts on the same day might not have the same order as before. I suppose that is fine. Anyway, but the important part is the date. Maybe if we include the time as well, in that case, well, we will get rid of this issue. But for now, I don't think we need to do that. The very last thing that we need to do is the moving of uh, money between accounts. So let's close that and update the last window here, which is move money window. And let's go back here. Let's go to draw money. Okay, we will copy these guys. Move money window. Let's go here, Control V. Wonderful. And let's include the lib namespace. And also, what do we have to do? In the load event, we have this part, but this is going to be a little bit more complicated, kind of. So here, now, so this is not going to be account object 1, and so we load the source account, and then we have the destination account as well. So account object 2. Okay, now instead of the source, this is gonna be the destination account, as you can see here. And now let me see, what was it? Account object 1 dot, no, not this one, cv, let me see, tx, no, what was the name of the first combo box? This is gonna be, oh, source account, sorry about that, totally forgot the name of the control, source account dot text, and this is gonna be destination account dot text. Okay, so this is going to be account object 1 equals account object 2 account holder name. Okay, so we have now filled the user interface. The very last thing to do is to copy the same code. So this is the min date. Let's go, let's copy, and here. Okay, so where is the part where we insert the records? This is it. Let me copy the min date, and this is going to be the min date. Okay, there you go. Okay, all looks okay. Let's see. There's gonna be admin 1 2 3 go, and now let's go to this receipt, and we edit that, make it, oops, forget to do something very important, which is where's the main window, where's the edit button? This is the edit button, and we should have made something like this. Okay, and finally we should sorry, we need to fill the sorry, we need to fill the GUI. Yeah, we need to do that, but yeah, am I filling things? Yeah, let me just fill these two guys before closing the database. Yeah, that looks fine, and now everything looks okay. Let's run admin 1 2 3 go. Let me go over here and go to this one, say edit, and voila, everything looks fine and wonderful. Instead of 60, I will move $1 only and say add. Okay, so now we have $1 being moved, and as a result, you can see here, you know, this was 10 and 10 with 59. It's gonna, yeah, so the calculations are accurate actually. And now we are gonna edit this one. I'll make it 60 as before. So oops, number lock, forgot to press that. 60 and press OK, and the value should be 1010 by 60. Okay, accurate. And we could actually edit and change the date and say this is the 5th, for example. Say OK. So it's working fine. Now there's one thing here: when you press, you always see add. You don't want, you want some kind of indication uh, that this is not an add operation but rather an update. And this is going to be very easy, very straightforward. So inside the load event, let me see, what was the name of the button? This is going to be button 1, right? In that case, we will say button 1 dot text equals edit, or let's say update. Control C. Now same trick goes here, okay, and the same trick goes here. Now as you can see, I did not create new windows for updating. I used the same windows in order to save time. I don't have to redesign things. I don't have to do validation because the previous validation will be applied right away. The only thing I added is just a checking for condition why I am using this window. You can see here, now this update, right? This update. But if I want to say deposit, you can see this add. Okay. So basically I managed to get away with very little code, okay, and very little user interface, and all worked well, right? So this is one of the tricks I do in order to reduce the amount of work and progress very quickly when building a project as much as I could, right? But it's not always the same. There are a few cases when this doesn't work and I have to create a specific user interface or a special user interface for updating. Okay, so it's not always the same, but this is a neat trick that will save you lots of hassle and time. Okay, so now let us see our progress. Where is the Excel file? Come on, baby, come on. There you go. So we finished this one. Let me see, modify receipt function, we already did that, right? Add function, inserting a new user, add GUI for inserting and listing users, add setup for the application. Okay, there are a few other things that we are gonna address in the next video. I don't want this to be long, so we'll see how we can create an account statement report. Okay, we'll have a look into that hopefully in the next video. So I will be uploading the source code into the website soon. So if you are interested, you could follow the link under the video and download the source code from there. And I hope you find this useful. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.